Hey, that was perfect timing with the music. How's it going, everybody? On a Sunday afternoon. I don't normally do Sunday streams, but here I am. I was just, you know, sitting around thinking it's been a while since we've done a Rational Live. Too long, in fact. And I got some time, some free time, some time to myself, and I could have been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, but that may come later once I finish the various stories I have planned here. So, various, like three stories. I got like three stories. So, give me a break. But yeah, this is the background. You like it? This is the background so far. I could add things. I could remove things. There's a cardboard box back there that's just unsightly. It just houses games. But apart from that, I don't know. I like the simple. I like the fact that the text, you see the chat there in the bottom, is showing on the background. Very nice. Very nice. But all right, so I mean, we can chat a bit. We'll do that now. We'll do that later. But I do have three stories to get to. I think they're all in the title. A Mehdi Hasan clip, the Commandments debate. That story is a little more fleshed out than the other ones. The other series, I mean, this is really just a hangout. This is not traditional, my traditional news stories. This is just doing a live stream, showing some stuff. Yes, hit that like button, hit subscribe, become a patron, or join on YouTube. And in fact, if you want to test out the alerts that I have turned on, they should show, actually, they'll show in this corner over Bernie Sanders. Super chats are accepted and welcomed, and they will show on screen. At least they should. That's how I got this chat working. So things should be working properly. Hopefully. But if you want to be the guinea pig and be the first one, then go right ahead. Garrett says, playing something other than Shadow of the Erd Tree is wild to me. I didn't beat Elden Ring original, so I'm not going to get the DLC for more boss fights that I'm not going to beat. I've been knee deep into JRPGs. I was actually like 40 hours. I got this camera auto focuses, so it's awesome. Look at that. 40 hours into Infinite Wealth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Fantastic game. But then Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance came out, and I played the original, 20 hours of the original on the Switch, and I loved it, but the frame rate is so bad on Switch that I couldn't keep playing it. And the remaster with a bunch of new content and new story mode is so good that I have not played anything else since I started Shin Megami. Actually, that's a lie. I played some FIFA yesterday, or I guess it's called FC now. FC 24, since Euro was going on, and Portugal, my team, won the first two games so far. That inspired me to play some FC, which is really, really good. I've not played a FIFA game or an EA soccer game for probably like 5 years, and FC 24 is very, very good. A lot of fun. Presentation is immaculate, especially coming off of NHL 24. The NHL games have just have just gone so downhill. I think they have a lack of resources because there's just less interest in hockey than soccer, like worldwide. But the presentation in the NHL games are so bad. It's so bad. Like the way the celebrations, the replays, everything. There is so much wrong with that game that I may actually even do a video on it for my second channel because of everything wrong, especially after playing FC 24. Everything wrong with NHL 24 that FC 24 is doing right. But anyways, is it not working? They didn't show up? Did the alerts not show up on screen? Because I see two super chats. Let me check something here. They should work, especially if the chat's working. Let me check something here, and then I'll get to the actual super chats after I test this out. I don't know why that didn't. Oh no, it is working. Okay, maybe I just missed it. I'm not hearing the audio My audio turned off?
When you have
Okay.
rational national priorities.
Okay, I think it's working for all of you. Is it working? For some reason, I don't hear the audio, but I think you do. Okay, it is working. All right. Someone's saying it's not? I don't know. It's working for me. I'm seeing it. Let me grab. Oh, I think they just came late. It was those two chats. Chris, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, hey David, are you excited for The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? Also got Samus Varia suit figure yesterday. Awesome. I should get some gaming figures. I feel like I have too much stuff now that I've embraced the digital age of just buying games online through storefronts and not having all these boxes, except for the occasional one. If there's a sale price, which there was on that, then I'll grab it. And Switch games. Switch games I will buy physically usually because I feel like they last. When it comes to CD-ROMs, or I should say the CD-ROMs, what am I? 1980s baby. When it comes to disk drives, they just stop working after a while. Like all of them. whether it's a PS3, PS2, both of those major issues. My PS4 still works, thankfully, but I've had so many issues with disk drives that are old, just stop reading discs, that I feel like it's not worth buying the discs. Whereas buying a cartridge, I will buy a Switch cartridge because that should last forever. But what was I saying? Yes, I'm excited for both. Both games look great. Metroid Prime 4. It was weird to me that some people thought that was a Switch 2 game from the trailer because it doesn't look like a Switch 2 game. At least I hope not. So, but I do feel like that's going to be one of those cross-generational releases since it is coming out next year. And Echoes of Wisdom looks really interesting. I really enjoyed Link's Awakening. Same art style. And Up Till Dawn says you can melt everything with black flame. Is that Elden Ring? But acquiring such a black flame, I would assume, is not so easy. I got about 20 hours into Elden Ring, the original, and really enjoyed it. Like, the game is beautiful. I enjoyed my time with it. But once I hit, it was this boss fight in a castle. It was indoors, and I'm a mage. I think that's the class. I'm the guy that shoots magic. And it was just impossible, at least for the way that I spec'd out my character to be able to fight that boss properly. So I was like, all right, this game is good, but I cannot continue taking 20 minutes just to get to the boss only to die, to have to go back and spend another 20 minutes to get to the boss only to die. It's just not. I don't like boss fights in games generally. So a game where all the bosses are just a pain in the ass, I prefer exploration. I prefer discovery. I like taking my time. I like strategy. It's why I enjoy JRPGs. It's why I enjoy tactical RPGs. But Elden Ring, as beautiful and great as that game is, and it is great, it's just not. It's not for me. All right. God, there are too many gaming questions here for me to move on to actual news. Do you think we'll ever get Wind Waker HD on Switch? Says Mr. McBizzo. I really hope so. I have been waiting for very long because I have the original on GameCube. I should probably just play that, but I never beat it as a kid. I think I got I don't know, maybe 12 hours into it or something. I'm not sure how long the game is, but if there's an HD Wind Waker, I will 100% pick that up and play through that. Frostpunk 2 soon. I hear that's good. All right. We will talk more. We could talk games all day. Grumpy Cat says, who will win the Stanley Cup? I don't want to make predictions because I will jinx them. But I will say, if you have not been watching the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, what the hell are you doing with your life? Even if I wasn't into hockey, I know, obviously I'm biased here because I am into hockey, But I feel like even if I wasn't, I would be tuning in because I'm imagining this happening in, say, I don't know, basketball, which if the Raptors are playing in the playoffs, I'll watch. But in the finals, in the Stanley Cup finals, the Florida Panthers were up 3-0. It's a best of 7 series. You have to win 4 games to win the series, to win the Stanley Cup. Florida won 3 games in a row. They needed 1 more to win. Edmonton has come back to win 3 games in a row to tie the series. This has not happened since 1945, and basically doesn't happen in other sports either. So we're talking history is being made right now. And Game 7 is on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Check your local listings. Watch the game. It is incredible to, regardless of who wins, it's going to be an incredible finish because Florida has no cups ever. They've never won a Stanley Cup. And the Oilers have the best player in the world on their team in Connor McDavid. And he hasn't won a cup yet. And he is, he's not near retirement, but he's middle-aged hockey. So he's getting near the point where he needs to win the cup now or soon. So it's going to be a fantastic. And if Oilers come back to win, it'll be the first time since 1942 when my Toronto Maple Leafs came back to win the Stanley Cup after being down by 3 games. Incredible. All right. That was fun. Let's get to less important things. So this was, I'm trying to think. Should I cut the chat for this? Because I may post this clip later. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to cut out chat because I can't trust you people. So just for the news segments, I'm going to have to do, let's see if this works. No, this one. There we go. It worked. And then this one. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. This one and this one. There we go. Okay. Lawn Gnome says, David making a 100% run Wind Waker series confirmed. No. I 100% very, very few games. Ghost of Tsushima, I got a platinum in that game. Fantastic game. Actually, basically all the platinums I have are the only games I've ever got 100%. I don't often make my way or spend that much time with a singular game after I beat it, unless I really, really like it. All right, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's do Mehdi Hasan. What's his dipshit's name again? Dean Phillips, right? Dean Phillips, yeah, okay. Mehdi Hasan had on Dean Phillips on his show on Zateo and had a very interesting discussion. Because you have here somebody who is pretending to care about human life in Dean Phillips, yet is not able to give the same sort of respect for one kind of life as he does for the other. So let's watch this. I watched this on Twitter, and I was a little, I don't want to say blown away, because it's not surprising, because this is exactly what these politicians put into practice. But it is amazing to see it laid out so clearly, the way Mehdi Hasan does this here with Dean Phillips. So Dean Phillips, by the way, he was running against Joe Biden in the Democratic primary, and then he dropped out at some point because no one cares about Dean Phillips. But again, this is a Democrat.
The other week, we saw 4 Israeli hostages rescued from inside of Gaza by an Israeli military and police operation, returned to their families. A very good thing. Mm-hmm. President Biden, Secretary of State Blinken, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, all reacted with praise, with celebration. None of them, in their initial responses, had a single word to say about the over 200 Palestinians reportedly killed, over 700 injured in that rescue operation, many of them innocent women and children. A lot of people have been asking this for the last 8-9 months. I'm sure you hear it in your constituency. Do Palestinian lives just not matter to the modern Democratic Party?
Oh, I think that's a horrifying statement. Let me acknowledge let me acknowledge the 38,000 human beings killed in Gaza, the 1,200 Israelis. but particularly the innocents. To me, it's all the same. They're human beings. I'm appalled and disgusted. First of all, there are Americans being held hostage. Here, let me change the lens for a moment. I believe, if anything, it has been the United States and the Biden administration should have been the foremost responsibility to extract our hostages, our nationals. I think there are 6 or 7 still, we don't know even if they're alive. So the question is, would we undertake an effort to extract American hostages, 2, 3, 4, 7, if we knew 200 civilians would be killed in the process?
What's the answer?
Boy, that's a tough, that's
a tough question?
That's a tough question. If you're the leader of a country, absolutely.
You
When
killed
can
200 people to save 6.
Mehdi, look at our, first of all, I'm the son of I'm a Gold Star son. I lost my dad in Vietnam. One of the most despicable, I think, wars of the United States has ever prosecuted. We've killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people over the years. We continue to. Look at what we did in Japan to end a war. These are philosophical questions that most Americans would never want to be faced with.
But you're a member of Congress, right?
I'm a member of Congress.
You wanted to be president.
Yes.
So let me ask you the straight-up question.
Let me answer your question.
Please.
I believe, as the President of the United States, his or her obligation should always be the safety and security of Americans first. It does not mean dismissing other humanity. But in the case of hostages, when it comes to this,
just to be clear here, sacrificing 200 people to save 6 is clearly dismissing other lives. Now, again, this isn't surprising because this is how these people operate. This is how they've always operated. But it's just to see it spelled out so clearly, and it becomes even more clear when Mehdi Hasan brings up the next question.
And we've tried this before, and we've seen carnage. The fact of the matter is, I think we should extract. And by the way, if that means there are civilian deaths as a result, unfortunately, that's, I think, a cost.
Well, the cost implies there's no other choice. We, of course, know that there was another way to get the hostages out.
I have empathy.
No, well, hold on. There's another way to get the hostages out. We got over 100 hostages out in a deal in November. You could have got Benjamin Netanyahu blocking another deal. But just I want to be very specific. In your view, is killing 274 Palestinians, including many children, an acceptable price to pay for the freeing of 4 Israelis?
Like I said, I don't. This you want a clear answer, and you want to make this black and white.
Is it an acceptable price to pay?
It's an unacceptable price, but I think it's a price that has to be paid.
Wow. So, if you're saying that to get free people from the clutches of horrible captivity, hostages, people possibly being abused in captivity, to free them, you have to pay a price, right? It's a horrible price. Does that ratio work the other way? How many Israelis can Palestinians kill in order to free Palestinian detainees who are currently being tortured in Israeli captivity, some of them being raped to death, according to the New York Times last week? Can they kill 200 Israelis? Hold on. Let me finish the question. Can they kill 200 Israelis to free 4 Palestinians who are being tortured in an Israeli prison?
I think it's a question that I'm sure Palestinians are asking the same way as Israelis.
No. You answered it. You answered it for Israel. I would like you to answer it in reverse.
Let me just clarify something you just said. You said Palestinian prisoners are being raped to death by Israeli soldiers.
Yes, this is a report in the New York Times last week.
Okay. I don't believe that to be true. Nonetheless, the question.
A 41-year-old detainee said the interrogators made me sit on something like a hot metal stick and it felt like fire. He said another detainee died after they put the electric stick up his anus.
No, it's repulsive.
This is an Israeli dungeon that CNN and New York Times have both reported on. UN investigators. So to free people from that prison, can you kill lots of innocent people according to the logic of the raid in Gaza?
What I'm trying to say is, if you represent the Palestinian people, you represent the Israeli people, we look at this quite differently. I don't want to.
I know you do, which is why I'm asking the question, Congressman. I understand that you see it differently. A lot of people watching at home say, "Why? Why aren't all lives equal?"
They should be,
but they're not.
How can you say they should be equal when you yourself are espousing a viewpoint where they are not equal? Clearly, he doesn't think, nor does he want them to be equal. Otherwise, he would be arguing against what the Israeli government did. This is the mentality that a lot of the people, I shouldn't say people, a lot of politicians, especially leadership in the West has. Palestinian lives simply do not matter the same to them as Israeli lives do. And that is clear based on the ongoing support of the genocidal Israeli government as they continue their onslaught and doing things like celebrating saving, 4 hostages after killing 200 people. It really is disgusting, and it takes this is an issue where the public now, I think, is on the right side generally because they have seen what's been going on over the past, what is it now, 8-9 months. So, you look at polling, people are coming to that realization. But in order to change what is happening at the top, in order to change the actual direction of, be it the US, Canada, the UK, and use the power that they have to apply real pressure on the Israeli government, in order for that to change, then a lot else has to change. Because as we often see, public positions on policy often don't align with where the actual leadership or politicians in their country are. Money talks above all else. Power talks above all else. So, and not even just that, like inertia talks above all else. If a country has held a certain position for a long time, it is very tough to change that position. It takes years and years and years. And I will say, in terms of hope, I do think that is changing. I do think we will get to a point where it's not just people that have a different view of Israel, but it'll be politicians that have a different view of Israel. And we see that, some examples of that in U.S. Congress, some examples of that in Canada, but in terms of, an actual president or prime minister, it's not the same. But that will continue to change as people continue to make this a major issue. All right. Let's have fun with a couple of stupid Trump clips. Well, not Trump supporter clips, because watching Trump is no longer all that enjoyable. Let's just say, it's just I can't even cover him anymore. And I will maybe once a month, but it's doing a video on just him is very tough. At least in terms of like a thing he has said at a rally, because he's probably said the same thing 1,000 other ways, and it's just there's nothing more to really learn from a Trump rally that you haven't already seen 1,000 times before. That said, he will come up in my 10 Commandments video. But before I get to these Trump supporter clips, I just want to see saw some more super chats pop up. Tejaswi Raghurama. Did you cover AOC platforming propagating Zionist talking points? I generally feel it hurts the movement when one of the most influential voices does that. So I saw some of that on Twitter. I would agree with you if it was an ongoing message that was being put out there. But first of all, I forget what you even said, because I think it was something in passing. It wasn't even I think it was like a tweet. So it's not like it was a position that she's loudly advocating for on behalf of Israel, for example. Like it's when it comes to, especially when it comes to what I do like 5 videos a week. I don't feel like a tweet that AOC puts out that comes off wrong is one of the 5 most interesting or important things of the week that I'm going to cover. It's just when someone's already on your side for the vast majority of what they're fighting for, including on this issue, just maybe she got some messaging wrong around I guess she was propagating a Zionist talking point, but largely she's on the correct side, as is someone like Jamal Bowman or Bernie Sanders, or even both of them say things that I don't agree with, or I wouldn't say it the way they say it, but they're not the problem. There's a much larger problem, which is everybody else in power who has no criticism at all of the Israeli government. So I just find it to be bizarre when they have so little power anyways, that it seems pointless to, hyper focus on a tweet or, a sentence that they got wrong. It seems bizarre to me. Chris, thank you for becoming a member, and your super chat says, been watching your show for a year or so. Couldn't look myself in the mirror without being a member. I'd love to chat one day about the state of media. Thank you, Chris, for your support. Talking about media is one of my favorite things to do. Is discussing media framing. I worked in broadcast media as a video editor for a couple years, or maybe a year and a half. But I don't know. Yeah, for whatever reason, media criticism for me is if I could pick one thing to do, like if I had to focus on one area, it would simply be on media and media criticism. But I have lots of interests, so I can't just stick to one. Chris says, I went to school for journalism but never worked in the field, so I'd like your opinion on how I can use my skills. Podcast is an option. Talk shop. Went to school for journalism but never worked in the field. I would just, whatever you feel is sort of moves you, like whether that's, doing YouTube. First of all, it's important to note, do something because you want to do it, not because you feel like, it may make you money or, some other external reason. Do it because you have the interest in doing it. So I would say focus on what you're interested in and cover that and discuss that and do it in whatever way you want to do it, whether it's, through a blog, through YouTube, through Twitch. While also, since you went to school for journalism, you probably have an easier in getting into, like, there's nothing wrong with working for, a radio station or a network, a local news station. Local news is really probably the easiest in, and you'll also be able to actually participate, as opposed to if you work for a major national network as someone who's just joining that company. You're likely going to be getting coffee. But if you're working for something small, something local, you're more likely to be behind the camera or to be producing, or at least shadowing a producer. So I would start my focus there, and then again, just see what interests you. It's especially when you're starting out, you want to kind of explore different fields, explore different areas. Again, I worked in video editing before I got in front of the camera and did more. So it's kind of whatever you grow into. All right. Let me maybe grab some other random chats before I get to these Trumpers. Tyler Hackner says, Dean is terrible. Yes. Yes, he is. Rachel Atwood, Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies moment. When I read that, for some reason, I was thinking of Pusha T. Pusha T and the Kendrick Lamar song that now the name of it is lost on me. But Pusha T in that song has that lyric. If he dies, he dies. Did Ron DeSantis dye his hair? I don't know. That's from Will from PA. I've not seen old Ronnie for a while. Black Hawk says, Rational Live. Whoa, happy Sunday, everyone. Yeah, it's been a while. The unfortunately, or fortunately, the Leftist Mafia podcast on Thursday nights kind of zapped my energy for Friday live streams. So those kind of went away. But I still, if I got some time on a Sunday, as I do now, I'll still do this. If I can manage to get myself together. All right. Will from PA says, no, the congressman looked like Ron to me. You think Dean Phillips looks like Ron DeSantis? I guess all us white guys look the same to you. I don't know. I gotta see it maybe. Some people have said that I look like Ron DeSantis. And I'm like, what? Do you have glasses? Like what? I guess in the sense that we both have a face and hair, but apart from that, I think we don't look anything alike. Very bizarre. Master says, I miss Babyface David. I don't think I have been beardless since 2016. So if you miss Babyface David, you have been around for a long time. A long time. Chris again says, thanks, dude. Solid advice. We need more people covering Canadian news like you. You're my main source to convert my friend off the Polyev train. Hey, why don't you do that? There you go. There's your, do more Canadian stuff. We could always use more Canadian people out there. I find it funny that people think because I'm Canadian, I must know a lot about Canadian politics. I don't. Like I definitely know more about modern day American politics than modern day Canadian politics. But that said, when a story comes up that interests me, I will cover it. And the closer we get to an election, which unless one is called, will be next year, then I will do more for sure. And I feel like I've done a few Polyev focused videos just so people know who he is, where I stand. Look at that. Super chats are working. Are you guys hearing the audio? I don't know why I'm not hearing the audio on that stuff. So when Bernie pops up, there should be like or pops up here. There should be an audio cue. And for some reason, I'm not getting it, but I think it is showing on my audio feed. What's your name? Floor colon says, you do not look like Ron. Thank you. Thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, that I don't look like Ron DeSantis. Grumpy Cat says Dean Phillips looks like David Duchovny. I've gotten people saying I look like David Duchovny. Do I look like Dean Phillips? Oh God. Oh God. Least you didn't dye your hair like Kyle. That's from Master. Did Kyle dye his hair? Let people do what they want with themselves. Who cares? It's okay. If he wants to dye his hair, it doesn't matter. Many people do many things. That's like getting angry that someone got a tattoo. Like, yes, they altered their body. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Now, I will say, if you are Tom Cruise in the movie Top Gun Maverick, and you are playing the elder in that movie, and you're supposed to be the teacher of these young guns, and your hair is darker than your students who are in their 20s, there's a problem there. So, maybe if you're an actor in a certain role where it doesn't make sense to dye your hair, then it's a problem. When it becomes distracting. I watched that movie like 2 weeks ago, Top Gun Maverick. Great movie. But I could not stop looking at Tom Cruise's clearly dyed hair as he is playing the old guy. And he's, teaching these young kids. Like this, it's so distracting. Like, dude, you're like 60. Please. It's okay. It's okay to be natural when you're in your 60s and you're playing a role where you are old. It's perfectly fine. But no, he was married to his brown hair. It ruined the whole film. No, it was still good. I still enjoyed it. If you just put aside the idea of who are they bombing? What country is this? Is this a justified attack? Putting all that aside, just thinking of it as this is just a movie. It was a good movie. All right. I'm gonna check. So I'm grabbing these next clips from Mediaite, which, if you've been to Mediaite, the amount of ads that Mediaite throws at you is just insane. Like on the page before the video. And if you got ad block on, you can't see shit. So you got to turn ad block off. And then the ad, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to make sure I can play this video without some stupid ad playing beforehand. And then I will get to playing this clip. But first, Donald James, member for 28 months, says still riding the Rash Nash wave. Let's go. Thank you, Donald. You are awesome. Massive supporter. 28 months. Incredible. Actually, I got some. Why don't I use sound drops? I got sound
when
drops.
you have rational national priorities.
1 and 0 and 2.
There you go. 2 for 28 months. Law Gnomes, $5 super chat says Prez debate starting at 9 p.m. is absurd. Also, maybe have a few icons of logical fallacies to toss on stream as a guaranteed value add. Yeah, so good reminder. On Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, that's the debate. We cannot stream on YouTube because CNN is very clear with their guidelines that this is not a democracy, that even though this is only one of 2 debates and it is very important for everyone to see it and for there to be different opinions on it, no, we are going to have complete control over this stream. And if you comment on this stream, you will be taken down by our lawyers because, again, not a democracy. But because of that, we are going to stream to Rumble, where there's no laws. Rumble, it's free for all. So we are going to stream the debate on Rumble. Pay attention to, I guess, me on Twitter. I'll probably post it on the community tab on YouTube as well, which should give you a notification. Again, this is why you want to hit subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, because you will be notified when I post something. So if you don't get notification, just check the community tab before the debate on Thursday, and I should be linking to it in there. So we will stream it there. And then after the debate, and I'm saying we, as in like my podcast peeps. So we will stream it there. And then after the debate, we're going to do live commentary on YouTube. So if you want to watch, the debate free from distractions without our ugly faces and comments on the debate, then you could do that. And then just come for the live stream on YouTube afterwards for our commentary. Frederico Molina says, please get the Trump soundbite where he says we have to debate. I have not heard that, but that sounds like a good one to have. All right. Let me check this clip here. All right. It looks like there is no ad. All right. Let me see if I can properly intro this. If this may be a video too. You never know. Weird. All right. Well, I think it's time to check in on some Trump supporters to see how they're doing. So I got a couple of clips that I found to be bizarre, for lack of better description. This is C-SPAN. So this caller called into the wonderful C-SPAN where they always have the Republican caller, the Democratic caller, or the independent caller. If I didn't just give it away, see if you can tell which one this is.
On the Republican line. Good morning, Aaron.
Well, she just gave it away.
Good morning. That's right. I'm in New Mexico now. I used to be in Massachusetts. So there's this rumor on TikTok that they're going to replace Biden on the ticket. And Jesse Waters was on Fox just the other day talking about it. Is there any truth to this?
Are you going to vote for Biden or a replacement?
No, ma'am, of course not. I don't care what parts on who Donald Trump touches and who he brags to about it. I love Donald Trump. I would only adore him more personally if he were to molest my mother.
Michael in Woodbridge, Virginia on.
What? What? I saw the headline on this and I thought, no. There must be more context to this, even though I'm not sure what context you could add that would justify this quote. But I thought, no, really? And let's just take that in again.
Would only adore him more personally if he were to molest my mother.
First of all, where do they find these people who are able to not react at all? Her only reaction was How are you so well, I don't know, I wouldn't say educated, but trained really. This is like this is more of a training. Do not react at all, regardless of how fucking insane the caller is. Just keep a straight face, even if this guy says that he would love Trump if he molests his mother.
Trump, I would only adore him more personally if he were to molest my mother.
Michael in Woodbridge, Virginia, on the Republican line.
Incredible. No, I wish I had more commentary to tell you to give you here, but like we all know these people have lost their fucking minds. So that is already a fact. I have no new information to part. This just reconfirms how fucking insane these people are. Let's check out another one.
Instead, he keeps going higher and higher in the polls, and as you can see, the people love him. The real news. Yes, we are here. Yes, so we'll continue to move down the line and see all of the people. The line has really grown since we started about an hour ago. Hello, everyone.
Donald Trump is our current sitting wartime president, commander-in-chief of the military.
Yes, hey, so let's talk about that.
Rattle Trap, R-A-T-T-L-E-T-R-A-P, 1776 Nation. On Facebook, his name's Derek Johnson, retired Army veteran. He shows how everything is in place, that he's going to be a three-term president minimum, serving minimum 12 years.
All right, sounds good.
You could tell. I mean, what's going through her head is, oh God, I immediately regret extending out the microphone to this clown.
T-R-A-P.
Was that a Facebook group?
Yes. Hey, so let's talk about that.
Rattle Trap, R-A-T-T-L-E-T-R-A-P, 1776 Nation. On Facebook.
On Facebook, okay. Facebook? But, oh God, I got to go on a slight tangent here. Facebook, while allowing these fucking idiots to have their massive Facebook pages, being sent out to millions of dipshits, Facebook has essentially turned off news channels on their platform, which may sound okay. May actually sound like a good idea. But people like this are still getting their platforms. While I have been stuck at 99,000 followers on Facebook since October. You have to even if you follow me, this is what is even more amazing. Even if you follow my page, and this applies to from my understanding, this applies to all news channels on Facebook. Even if you follow me, my stuff will not appear in your feed. You have to actually go to the URL like it's 1997. You actually have to type in the URL to my Facebook page to find me, and then be able to watch the videos from there. Facebook has done a serious number on people's brains. The real thing they should be shutting down are these Facebook pages, like these groups of fucking lunatics that are out there with their fascist propaganda, and just like it is incredible how many minds Facebook has broken. But there you go. That's a little tune in to see how the Trump supporters are doing. The answer is
not good. Believe me, not good.
It's so funny. I was going to say not good, and I realized I have a sound drop.
Not good.
Oh my God. All right. Storm Rising says Mortal Kombat. What about Mortal Kombat? All right, let's get this guy off the goddamn. Please, leave my screen. All right, we got the 10 Commandments. This is the 10 Commandments story is more of an actual news segment. So, because I got multiple tabs for that one. But let's look at the chats. What's going on? My mouth is super dry right now. Open up. My lips aren't like slapping. That probably didn't come over well. I'm sorry. Very, very dry mouth. Frederico says Gooners for Trump. I like seeing the replies to what was clearly the C-SPAN clip of people going, "What the F did he just say?" Not many Gen Z in the crowd. Let me check on that. Yeah, not too many Gen Z back there. Master says, is 10 Commandments in school also a thing in Canada? No. 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 Maybe in Catholic school. So I went to Catholic school. They were probably on there, in one of the rooms. I don't think it's like a mandate, but I don't, you obviously wouldn't get in trouble for posting the 10 Commandments. So, man, going to Catholic school, I remember in high school, there was this guy who was like really smart. Like he was really good in, especially like math, science, which is interesting because of the next thing I'm about to say. But he was really good in math and science, and I just figured this guy was like an intelligent person. And then one day, randomly, the conversation. This is like maybe in the 10th grade. One day, randomly, the conversation about the Old Testament comes up, and I discuss how it's obviously, just it's not real. Like these are stories. It's not real. Didn't happen. And then this guy got so offended. I was like he was like really offended that I thought that the Old Testament wasn't real. Like he was like, of course it's real. All those things happen. Like he was convinced. And again, this is a guy who's good in math and science. He's convinced that the Old Testament was literal and it all happened. And I feel like that day, I wouldn't say radicalized me, but really made me realize that people who may appear intelligent doesn't mean they're necessarily intelligent. So in that religion, people take literally. And again, I grew up going to Catholic school. You could say I was, there was attempted indoctrination on me, but maybe it's because I had like a good mom who was always clear about the Bible not, being literal, and that we should always respect other people. And she had her own beliefs that were not in the Bible. So it was always taught to me in a way where it was never about like, oh, you must follow everything this priest says or you're going to hell. Like it was never taught to me that way. But some people clearly take it that way. And that is disturbing, very disturbing. And many of those people now apparently have high positions in political office, which is frightening. Which gets to our next story. I guess I'll just jump into it. All right, lots of chats here, but we can chat more after. Let me get to 10 Commandments. The state of Louisiana is now forcing every single classroom, that includes public school classrooms, to post the 10 Commandments. So in this video, I'm going to go over this news. I'm going to go over some reaction from a lunatic that helped to author this bill, as well as some pushback on Fox News of all places from the token liberal they bring on for these panels, but still good pushback. And we'll also get to the actual 10 Commandments just to see if they hold up after all these years. So this is so. To be clear, you know, when I do research for these stories, I always think about the source I'm going to pull from. I purposely picked BBC as it is not American, just to get a proper outsider, objective, fact by fact basis of what is happening here. So every public school classroom in Louisiana has been ordered to display a poster of the 10 Commandments, a move that civil liberties groups say they will challenge. The Republican-backed measure is the first of its kind in the U.S. and governs all classrooms up to the university level. Governor Jeff Landry signed it off on Wednesday. Now, I find this to be maybe the just the perfect point to bring up out of all of this. The posters must be on display in all classrooms receiving state funding, but no state funding is being offered to pay for the posters themselves. This tells you everything about how backwards the American school system is. You must do this thing, this religious thing that is clearly in violation of free speech, violating the separation of church and state. But also, we are not going to pay for it. So you must do this illegal thing, and you're going to pay for this. The teachers will pay for this. It's so disgusting. So to be clear, this is what civil liberty groups are bringing up. Congress shall make the First Amendment. Here you go. The Establishment Clause. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That's it. There you go. The rest is there too, but there you go. That's it. 4 civil liberties groups have confirmed they plan a legal challenge highlighting the religious diversity of Louisiana's schools. The law was, quote unquote, blatantly unconstitutional, said a joint statement from the American Civil Liberties Union, the American Civil Liberties Union of Louisiana, Americans United for Separation of Church and State, and the Freedom from Religion Foundation. All right. Trump, where's he on this?
Arrest you. Who likes the 10 Commandments, by the way, going up in the schools? They think it's such a bad thing. I said, has anyone read the thou shalt not steal, has anybody read this incredible stuff? It's just incredible. They don't want it to go up.
Clearly you haven't.
It's a crazy world, a crazy world.
Has anybody read this thing? I was able to pull out one. Has anybody read the rest? So let's actually read it, shall we? Here we go. The 10 Commandments. You shall have no other gods before me. It's about morality. It's not about religion. It's about morality. You shall not make idols. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The first 4 are essentially all about don't offend God. God is very soft. God is very easily offended. God plays the victim. God is essentially a Donald Trump. So and for some people, literally. So don't you say anything bad about God. Don't you dare. Don't like anybody else. No one else shall be your idol. No one else, no other gods. I am the one God. You must remember the Sabbath day, not because you need the day off, but because God, I am God, and you must remember it because of me. What a sad little Holy Spirit God is. Number 5, honor your father and your mother. What if they're terrible people? What if your father is Donald Trump? Must you honor him? I would hope not. 6, you shall not murder. Well, okay. That one's fine. You shall not commit adultery. Nah. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Don't you dare bear that false witness. Oh, God will come for you if you bear the false witness. And you shall not covet. God damn. I mean, I'm sorry. God damn it. I mean, shit. I already fucked up. But basically, don't covet. Don't you dare covet. Or else. Yes, it's just about morality, guys. I mean, the argument they're making is that this is not religion. Whatever. This supersedes religion. These are just rules to live by. Rules to live by. You shall not make other idols. No other gods. No, it applies to everything. So this clown, Lauren Ventrella, who co-authored it, here's her very sound argument.
Do you also recognize that the Constitution of this country, its founding document, doesn't include the word God or Jesus or Christianity? And that's for a reason, because the founding fathers founded this country as a secular one. You don't see that?
I bet you CNN pays you a lot of money, and I bet you got a bunch of dollar bills.
What does this have to do with the network that I work for or what I'm getting paid? Don't make this about that. Answer the question. Why did the founding fathers not include God in the Constitution if they wanted this country to be the way that you see it?
Let me finish my statement.
Answer the question and don't make this about me.
In God we trust. Well, make it about me. I got a dollar bill in my wallet. In God we trust is written on that dollar.
This is truly mental illness.
It's not forcing anybody to believe one viewpoint. It's merely posting a historical reference on the wall for students to read and interpret it if they choose.
I would love to know what these same lawmakers, how they would feel if a page from another religion was forced to be plastered on every single public school wall. Think they'd be cool with that? It's simply a historical document that is a religious document that clearly is in violation of the law. This, like, I want to be clear as well. I don't think, like, so this is going to be challenged. I have to imagine if there is any God or not, God or not, I have to imagine that this is going to be overturned. That they're going to be, that they won't be allowed to go through with this. I also don't think it's going to have any impact. Like in terms of, I'm not saying it's fine. I'm not saying it should be allowed. It should not be allowed. It should definitely be taken. It should not be allowed on these walls. But I'm just saying in terms of the actual impact, it's no one's gonna. Did you read half the shit on your classroom walls? I didn't. So unless the teacher is teaching it, which I guess that could be a risk in some cases here with some, I guess if there's a teacher in a public school who's crazy about Christianity, which I'm sure is not all uncommon. But no, let's be clear. This can't be allowed. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to, like, I don't know, turn people Christian because they saw the Ten Commandments on their wall. There are greater issues. But this was really, really good. So this is Leslie Marshall or Leslie Marshall.
So as the mom of two teens, as the product of public school myself, I'm more about the solutions to the problems. And I think it's great that private donors care so much about children in Louisiana. But if they did, Louisiana is 49th in education. We have 50 states. They are one from being the bottom in education. 1. 2, one of the highest teen pregnancy rates. 3, school lunch programs. Are we feeding the children? So as a former Christian, one of the things that I would like to see, the Jesus that I know in the Bible, and I'm not a spokesperson, but I think he would care more if we really cared about the children. And I looked at the Ten Commandments again this morning, And I have already violated one of them coveting these ladies' shoes. So,
Not exactly the same covet, but I appreciate the
well, you don't have a wife.
Can I just make one 10-second point?
So that's my problem with it as a parent is I would like to see them focus more on the children.
Great. Awesome. There's no retort to that. Like, that is the problem. The problem in Louisiana when it comes to education is not the lack of 10 commandments on the wall. Clearly, it's literally everything else. Lack of funding, lack of attention, lack of food for children. Like, it's just, for this to be the focus of any lawmaker, it shows you how disconnected these people are from the actual realities of their constituents. And that's being generous. Because saying they're disconnected is sort of saying that they're not aware of what's going on. I think in most cases they are very aware of how shitty their state is for education. And they simply do not care because they are not there to make it better. Okay. There we go. There we go. Some fun stories for today. Let's chat a bit. Oh, I just missed a notification for a super chat, it looks like. Or maybe not. Maybe just seeing things. Let's chat a bit. Maybe I'll play some Rocket League. Maybe we can do that. Or maybe I'll show you the game that I've been playing. And I will lose all of you but 5. Oh yeah, I stole this from R.M. Brown.
That's in the Bible.
I could have used that in that video.
That's in the Bible.
Oh well. All right. Give me stuff to talk about. Trex invert, if I'm reading this right. In my class, we throw darts at stuff. Now we have 10-point target. Sick. Moran, with a question I kind of answered earlier. You play any Elden Ring? I played 20 hours of Elden Ring. I really enjoyed it, but I'm just not a guy that likes bosses. I've never liked boss fights my whole life. I've quit many games due to boss fights. Beautiful Joe on the GameCube, I quit because of the second boss. I could not stand that second boss. I hated his singing. He sang like this jingle when he was fighting me and kicking my ass, and it infuriated me. Quit many games due to boss fights. But I love everything else about Elden Ring. I love the exploration. I love the sense of discovery. It does all that so well. If I could just nail every enemy there with one hit, it would be a perfect game. Tom Jones is back, says I play a bit of Forza multiplayer. Gets a bit toxic. I played Forza multiplayer back on the 360. I don't think I've ever played that game online since then, though. And I also haven't. This is a conversation that I had with Cavernacle and Humanist Report on our. We had a little gaming podcast together. If you go to my second channel, youtube.com/David Dole, DOEL, you will see it. We discussed how voice chat is kind of dead. Like, you don't. Back in my day, when voice chat was new to console gaming, you would just talk to anybody. Like, you would have the microphone on and you get into a game. Doesn't matter if it's like a sports game, a shooter, a racing game, whatever. And you would chat with random people online. Now nobody has their mic on ever. And the only time you ever do is if you know the person you're talking to in real life. and you're playing together. At least that's my experience. Like, I'll jump into random games of like Rocket League, for example. Rocket League has voice chat. No one's voice chat's ever on. Mine is never on. It's just it's sort of a weird, like, I'm not sure why it got that way. I guess because voice chat was so toxic for so long that people sort of just stopped bothering. Inferno Blade says, did you see Jimmy Dore canceled Jill Stein for not accepting his most recent interview request? Jimmy Dore's the way Jimmy Dore comes to a conclusion on if he likes somebody or not is if they accept his interview. I'm not even joking. That's like literally how his politics is decided. So, like, you could see that pattern throughout the history of Jimmy Dore. It's pretty funny. Danny Taro, have you retired the green screen? I have for now. If I have some idea of like, I don't know, there's a thing I want to do that something maybe comical that I could do with the green screen or something, that maybe I'll bring it back. Like, I still have the Velcro on the wall. The reason I took it down is one of the Velcro pieces broke off and kept breaking off. And it's like, it stripped the paint off my wall. And I could put it back on, but I'd have to probably repaint that portion and then wait for it to dry and then restick a Velcro piece back on. And then, I could do all that. Or I could just take it down and have something different. So I prefer this. This is cleaner. I also, because I don't have to use a chroma key, the colors actually look more natural. Like, the chroma key took out a lot of, I guess, the green that was in my body, that was on my skin. It just made the colors less natural. So, with that gone, I don't have to worry about that. I think it just looks cleaner. This isn't really, like, going down here isn't really a huge deal. Like, whatever. You don't need to see whatever's behind me here. It's not really a big deal. So, I think it's better this way. And I have seen mostly positive results. I see some people miss the green screen, but I think this is better. You need a bookshelf now, says Soul Life. Yes, I will consider that. I want to find one that's sort of like I don't know, low profile. I don't want to see a big like bracket under the shelf. If I can find something that just like slots in, I will consider that. Danny Taro says, more humanist this way, to be honest. I agree. Global says, check your super chats. Did I miss one? Okay, let me see.
When you have rational national
Oh my God. Did I miss one? I just see a lot here, but maybe I'm... I think I read all these. Let me see. Read that. Oh, I did miss one. Sorry. I missed, well, I guess I missed two because someone else messaged saying I missed one. Yes. Still alive. $9.99 super chat. I'm sorry for being so late to that. Says you at all interested in playing the new Zelda? Oh, did I read that already? Oh, I think I thought I read that because someone else asked that earlier. That was the first super chat I got. So, playing the new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom game. You finally get to play as Zelda. Of course, a lot of dudes are complaining because I guess they wanted her to play just like Link, LOL. Well, to be fair, I saw a criticism that was sort of like, oh, you play as the girl, but you can't use the sword because that's a boy's job. Like, so if you're taking it that way, I can kind of see why people are annoyed by the fact that Zelda can't use a sword. But I'm looking at it from like a gameplay perspective. I think it looks really interesting. I enjoy Zelda games generally, and the parts about them I enjoy the most really are the puzzles. So because of the fact, like, because of Zelda's her ability in that game, it looks to be puzzle focused. which gets me really excited. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. Chris Tiabo says, you missed a super chat by Still Alive, LOL. Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you so much. I should miss more super chats so that I get super chats telling me I missed the super chat before that. Maybe it was my strategy the whole time. Howard Wilson says she never used a sword though. She was a magic user. If you want to split straws, yeah, I'm not of that mind. Of that, like, you know, they're giving her the magic wand because she's a girl. I don't think that's what they're doing, but I can see how some people may take it that way. Donald James, thank you for your super chat, says, do you think Biden will be replaced by the DNC? No, because if that were to happen, it would have happened already. The only way Biden gets replaced is if he doesn't make it to election day, because he's kind of old. It's possible neither of these candidates make it to election day. So that really is the only way this changes, or that they get replaced by their party. Otherwise, I don't think that's going to happen. All right. Where was I? What if I can still chat while playing a game, can I? I could do that. If y'all don't mind. Maybe, I don't know, let's see. Let's see what's going on. Let's check my games. Chris Tiabo. Curse you, you meddling kid. Removes David's mask to reveal mega grifter Mike Liddell. See that picture of Mike Liddell where he looks like he's like dying? That guy is not getting much sleep. All right, everything. So I'll be looking over here more because that is now where I have moved my screen. So I can check out my PS5. All right. Let's see. I feel like if I play Shin Megami Tensei, no one's going to stay for that. Then again, if I play anything here, I'm sure most of you are going to leave. But if I can get a couple games of Rocket League in, maybe it's worth it. Do you think Trump will show up to the debate? Yes, he's already agreed to go. I don't think he's going to
when you have
not show up now.
national priorities.
Mike Lindell looks like his own pillows nowadays. You stream in Twitch too? Not regularly. I used to find it harder to grow a audience on YouTube than on Twitch. Now I think it's harder on Twitch. Like unless you're playing like the game of the day or something. Like if I go on there and play Shadow of the Erdtree, I'm sure I'll get some views. But hold up. Dirty Pirate mentions Devil Summoner. Yes. Why did you bring up Devil Summoner? What about Devil Summoner? Oh, I was thinking Devil Survivor. Devil Survivor is for me one of the greatest tactical RPGs of all time. Howard Wilson, Vengeance is really good, though. It is so good. So good. I've been slowly making my Game of the Year list over the year, as I do every year. And I'm just thinking, is it okay to put on a game that is... When did it come out? 2017, I think? The original SMT5. Is it still okay to put on a game that mostly came out in 2017, or is that wrong? Because all of the quality of life stuff they added and the story differences, or I should say additions, just make this game so much better. Not to mention the way it looks and runs on PS5 compared to Switch is just night and day. Balthazar, yes, actually, I meant to mention this earlier. I'm so glad you brought this up. Shout out to all the progressive victory canvassers in New York 16, including myself. Go Bowman. Jamal Bowman is in a primary race. If you are in his district, make sure you vote. Bowman right now is down in polling because of the amount of money that the pro-Israel lobby has spent against him. From what I've heard, if you live in New York, you see nonstop attack ads against Jamal Bowman, even if you're not in his district. So it is very important, very, very important for you to go out and vote for Jamal Bowman. He's up against just a terrible person, terrible individual who was purposely targeted to run against Jamal Bowman. And I mean, the guy is like, he's not just bad politics. He's like George Latimer, the guy he's running against, is just like an out and out racist. It's wild, the shit I've seen from him. So, it's at this point, it looks like he's going to win the primary race based on the amount of money being spent against Jamal Bowman, because it's definitely not because of his politics or because of his campaigning. It's simply because of PAC money. Looney Tune says Matt Binder was there yesterday along with Voosh. Yeah, I saw some pics from Matt. Matt actually told me he met a David Dole fan. He hasn't said anything else. I asked him if they were awesome and cool, but I haven't heard anything back. So I hope you were awesome and cool. I cannot say your name. Zio Zermi says, what TV series David is following? I'm watching The Boys right now. The new season is slowly going up. I thought they would do all the episodes at once, but they've only rolled out 4 so far. So, but it's great show, filmed in Toronto. The Boys is filmed in Toronto. That's the one thing I find, I don't know, bizarre about it, is that it is so clearly not New York. Where the show, maybe it's because I know it's filmed in Toronto, but I feel like even if I didn't know that, I could tell it's not New York City. There's one scene in I think it's the first or second season. There is one scene where you see a Toronto streetcar in the background driving by. It's like this is clearly not New York City. Like, what are you guys feeling here? So that's the one thing that kind of takes me out of it. Is just every scene I'm watching, I'm like looking for the Toronto landmarks. In fact, a place I used to live, during season 3, I could see them I saw them shooting outside, or they had the set up. I didn't see them shooting because it was at night, I think, when they shot. But I saw them set up a set for nighttime outside of a building I used to live at. I would love to be an extra on that show. If you work on The Boys, hook me up. I want to be an extra next year. I think they have one more season. I think they're doing 5 seasons. Then they're done. But really good. Also, House of Dragon, of course. I'm watching House of Dragon. And I also, I got to get in my propaganda. So Law and Order, Toronto. Because again, I'm a slave to shows in Toronto. But I've always enjoyed the Law and Order series. Especially I've always enjoyed the original, like the 90s Law and Order. I never really got into the offshoots like Criminal Intent or SVU, but the original Law and Order, especially if you go back and watch the early ones, like 1990, and you watch it in HD, I'm not sure if it's still available. I know when they initially hit Netflix when Law and Order first hit streaming, it was on Netflix, and it was in like full, like it looked amazing because it was initially shot in film. So seeing like New York City back in the early '90s in high def looked really cool. But I have a lot of nostalgia for that series. But apart from that, what else? I think that's really it. I'm not juggling too much TV right now. There's a lot that I heard, what is it called? Baby Reindeer. I heard that's really good on Netflix. I want to see that, but I have not checked it out. Yeah. Taco Toker. Any hype for Metroid Prime 4? Absolutely. I actually got the remaster that I have not opened yet, and I keep meaning to get to.
When you have rational national priorities.
Oh, new super chat. I missed this. Chris again. Thank you for your very generous super chat. Says, watch Shoresy yet? Hockey show filmed in Sudbury. I have not watched Shoresy. I hear really good things. I never played like pickup hockey. I know that from what I understand, that show is, a lot of the jokes seem to be about like that. So I'm sure if I had played hockey, I would get it more. I played ball hockey, but I'm just not a good skater. My skates always hurt my feet. Got like flat feet, so skates always killed me. But ball hockey was sweet though. Dirty Pirate says, I'm lagging behind a bit, but you said Shin Megami Tensei and Devil Summoner was the first game that came to mind. I see. That's why you said that. Yes. Actually, I haven't played the Devil Summoner games, but for some reason in my mind, I was confused with Devil Summoner and Devil Survivor. But Devil Summoner I have not played. Those were on PS2, I believe. But Devil Survivor on 3DS. So actually, it's on the original DS as well, I think. So good. I was going to play a game, but you all are just distracting me with chats. Chase Palm. I love the original cast. Michael Moriarty, Richard Brooks, the original partner to Mike Logan character, Max Greevy, who was only in the first season. Yeah, I'm not good with names, so in terms of actors' names, I'm going to assume you are naming all the ones that are in my mind right now. But yeah, no, the original cast was really good, and even like up till maybe season like 6, 7 of the original Law and Order was really, really good. I fell off a bit when they kept going. Like post 2000, forget it. I'm sure I've watched some of them, but I don't. Actually, no, post 2000's okay. It's really up until like 2007 or something. That's when I kind of lost interest. But no, early to mid 90s is for me the golden age of Law and Order. Jeff Ray says, who do you think will be Trump's running mate? I'm going to maybe say JD Vance. Because he was the guy who, like, didn't he call Trump Hitler at one point? And now he's like a complete ass kisser. Like, he's the guy who's connected to money, who can help Trump get money. Not that Trump even really needs the money to run. Like, when it comes to the presidential level, people know it's one of two options. I don't know how much money really matters once you win the primary, but that's part of it. But I don't know. I think maybe he wants to diversify the ticket a little bit to try and, play that card. So it's hard to say. But he also doesn't want someone who's going to outshine him. Like, I think Trump is very about himself. JD Vance is somebody who is not going to outshine Trump. So he's sort of a safe pick for Trump's ego. Sam O says, I know you like video games. Have you tried / played board games and or Dungeon and Dragons? I mean, I've played board games, but there are many board games that I bet you aren't really meaning to be board games. Like, Monopoly is a board game. So I played that. But no, Settlers of Catan I've played. That's probably like the one like actual board game I played. It's really good. I have not played Dungeons and Dragons, which also goes to why I have not played Baldur's Gate 3, which I feel like I don't have the basis for that game. But I would like to. I was just never given the opportunity. I didn't know anybody who played Dungeons and Dragons.
When you have rational national priorities,
I would recommend watch some outstanding international TV series and drama and films, but would be subtitled. I started to watch last night Godzilla called -1, I think, which is subtitled. Really, really good. I didn't finish it because I began to fall asleep because it was late. But I have like 40 minutes left. I was kind of not to spoil anything, but that movie hits you. Like you're like, oh, poor guy, and it just keeps getting worse. It's like all right, enough already. Leave this poor guy alone. So I'm really curious to see how that movie ends. It's really good though. Noel Ito, thank you for your generous super chat. Do you think Hezbollah has the right to drag Lebanon into a conflict with the IDF? If so, would you think now is a good opportunity to destroy them, with them being bogged down in Gaza? I don't know enough about their particular conflict to really give any sort of informed opinion on that. When it comes to destroying anything, like there needs to be some diplomacy happening. I think that ultimately is what I would like to see. I'm not really pro anybody dying. I hope that isn't controversial. I don't want people to die. That's my position. Like the US especially has proper pressure points that they are simply not using on Israel when it comes to aid, when it comes to arms. Like at the very least, man, like Biden has been so weak on that. And they're laughing in his face. Netanyahu criticized Biden this week. Like, it's absurd. So to continue just enabling all of that, when they have the ability to at least put a serious damper on what is happening, is, to me, just, it's been the most, I mean, obviously, the most depressing aspect of the Biden administration is their position towards Israel. Wilner Olivier says, are you disappointed with so-called progressives like Kyle Kalinske, Cenk Uygur, and Crystal Ball for seemingly rooting for Trump presidency by always criticizing Biden nonstop? I don't see them do that at all. I've seen endless criticisms from all three of those people about Donald Trump. I think it's not only fine. I think it makes strategic sense. It isn't even just the right thing to do in terms of, commentary or journalism, to be openly critical of people in power, regardless of what party it is. But it's also the right thing to do strategically, because when it comes to trying to convince people to vote, if all you have done is prop up one party uncritically forever, who are you convincing at that point? Who's watching your videos? People that are already going to vote. But if you are objective, if you are openly critical of both parties, of power generally, and your position is based in principle as opposed to, name brand, then I think your opinion holds more weight when it comes to discussing an election. Like, it never, this idea of being a, propagandist for either side, I don't think really makes it. You could say it makes more sense for the right because they are so like monolithic in their media, in their thinking. It makes less sense when you're trying to reach Democratic voters, because Democratic voters include people that don't normally vote, but would vote if they feel that there is a point driving them to vote. Like, Democrats win when turnout is high, which tells you there is the ability there to reach people who don't normally vote to vote. On the right, it's like you're going to get sort of the same kind of turnout regardless, right? Unless it's Trump was unique in 2016 because he brought out in that sense, he brought a lot of people out to vote who didn't normally vote. But a lot of those people were then burned and then realized, okay, I'm not voting for Trump again. And then, Biden wins the next time. So, but there is less of that non-voter base for Republicans compared to Democrats. Like, Democrats, you need young people, right? Like, you need marginalized people. Like, there are these voting bases that are very important for Democrats to win, and that is the audience you're speaking to. So if you're just doing Democratic propaganda, I don't think you're reaching that audience. I don't think you're reaching people you actually need to win elections. Chris says you don't need to be a hockey fan to watch Shoresy. I'm not a player, so trust me, you won't regret it. Okay, last one. I'll be broke supporting the show. Thank you, Chris, for your amazing support. The Jack says, Mascara? Do you think I have mascara? I'm not wearing makeup. Does it appear I'm wearing makeup? I'm not against it. Like, if you wear it, it's fine. I think I just have dark eyelashes. It's getting a lot hotter in this room, and I realize it's because my PS5 has been sitting turned on. I don't think I'm going to play a game because it's not going to be engaging for this audience. There's no point. Turn this off so I'm not boiling to death. Move the screen back over. There we go. Okay. I'll be on for a bit longer than maybe like 10 more minutes and then jump off. Are we heading to World War III? Hope not. Lonzetta says Kyle has actually been very good, clearly explaining the pros of the Biden presidency. He promotes them better than Biden himself. Yeah, especially when it applies to Kyle. I find that criticism to be very bizarre, saying that Kyle only criticizes Biden. Kyle has one of the best videos. To be clear, this is, pre Gaza, pre the bombardment. But Kyle has one of the best clips discussing Biden accomplishments when he was him and Crystal were debating Brianna Joy Gray. So like Kyle, like to me, Kyle is still one of the most objective commentators I have seen. This is a guy who has been doing this forever, has never sold out to anybody, has always been super nice to me, and you may say, yeah, that clouds my judgment, but no, Kyle, like even if Kyle was mean to me, I think it's clear he's. Even if you don't like, there are points when I haven't agreed with him. By the way, like there was maybe like 5 years ago. I know there was debates over free speech. He was more of a free speech absolutist. I think he's changed a bit since then, and I wasn't. I think hate speech laws are good, for example. So I've had disagreements with him, but he's always been able to rationalize or properly back up why he holds certain positions, even if I think he may be wrong in that sense. But he's always been like honest with his position. I think that's really what comes through. Is he's never fake. He's never just saying something to say it. Like he's just honest. He's very honest.
When you have rational.
Aiden Cult, do you think the debate will be a disaster or just plain old bullshit? I mean, again, these are predictions. Honestly, I have no idea. I haven't thought about this question, but I just I guess I just assume it's just going to be what we kind of expect it to be. There's going to be some talking over each other. Especially, I'm sure Trump will talk over Biden a lot, like he did last time. The questions probably won't be as good as they could be. There won't be proper follow-ups. I'm sure Trump's going to lie a lot, and there's not going to be simply enough time for the moderators to break down the lies or dispute them. So that's sort of the issue with this sort of format, is just that there is a time frame they have to adhere to, and that time frame means that they cannot sit on a single question or a single lie for too long because they have to move on. That said, I'm glad there's a time limit, because if this debate was just allowed to go on and on and on and on, I'm not sure I could watch the whole thing. Chris says, my bank account can't handle these live shows. And that's with another super chat. Chris, you don't have to keep giving. You're very generous. You are great. You can stop. But thank you so much. I'll even dedicate a sound drop to you. Thank you, Chris. Soul Life says Kyle gets unwarranted hate. Yeah, I agree. All right. Maybe it's time to get off. Should I do these more often? Chat, what do you think? Should I live stream more often? I want to see if I had more show and tell, but I don't. Here we go. This is on my desk for some reason. Castlevania. Look at this awesome autofocus, man. Thank God my nails are clean. Could have been a problem. Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. I believe that is my brother's, and it was in my Nintendo DS when I picked it up. Vicky says, yes, do these more often, at least once a week, says Domini, Anno Domini. Master says, you have no life, so you must. I do have a life. Actually, that is the issue. I usually don't have freedom on Sundays at this time. Sunday evening, maybe I could, but then House of Dragon is on. So, you know. Heather says, no, David, I think you shouldn't do anymore. Okay, well, thank you for being honest. I appreciate that. Chris with another $2 super chat. Chris, thank you. You didn't have to. So that is mostly yeses. I'm here for it, says Selena. So what game is good for puzzles? Oh man, what a question. What kind of puzzles? Are we talking environmental puzzles? Are we talking puzzle game? Are we talking tactical puzzles or tactical strategy that could be described as puzzles, maybe? I don't know. I can't even think of anything right now because it's a wide question. Vicky says, see, David is no Matt. What, because I'm leaving? How far into this? How long has it been? Do I have a timer somewhere? I don't even know where to look to see how long I've been streaming for. Anything? Here we go. 1 hour, 46 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm not mad. I can't do 12 hours at night. I love my children, or my child, so I must leave to be a parent. Actually, luckily, he is being babysat right now. That's why I'm here. If he was home, I would not be on here. David, you're gonna go survive an LCBO strike? Is one coming up? I've not been paying attention to that. I will be fine. I drink like once a month at most. Oh, great question to end on. Actually, I got a few more I see here. Actually, yeah, before I get to Law Gnomes, I will say, Vicky Klee, know the fact that you tell people to stop donating super chats, LOL. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes, Matt will suck you dry until you have no money left in the account. I will encourage you to stop and save your money. So that does differentiate me and Matt for sure. Mellowfire says, I like your gaming streams, videos, David. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you and 3 other people like them. I will do more just because I enjoy them. But I appreciate that. Donald James says, I never see Sahil anywhere anymore. Do you think he still streams? I wish he would. I wish Sahil would stream more. He has not. It's been a problem. I just realized this is not really an issue. This doesn't concern any of you. But I was not recording my stream, which means I have to download my YouTube VOD, which will come in at like 720p. Stupid. I don't know how I forgot. Oh, well, whatever. But this was the question I was talking about. Lawn Gnomes, $2 super chat, says, which is better, Fire Emblem or Advance Wars? This is an eternal question that I feel like depends completely on whatever I played last. Because playing the Advance Wars remake on Switch, I while playing that game, I'm like, this is the greatest game ever made. I love this game so much. But then playing Fire Emblem, 3 Houses is the last one I played. I know they have one after that, but I just finished 3 Houses, so I wasn't going to pick up Engage yet. But while playing Fire Emblem, I was like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. So I don't know. I don't want to put them against each other. They're both so fantastic and also very different. Even though they're both turn-based strategy games, they're both so good that it's impossible to pick. It's impossible. You know, if you want to break it down to, I think there are more Fire Emblem games, so maybe you would award it to them simply because of the amount of Fire Emblem titles out there. But Advance Wars is so good. Chris, again, $2 super chat. I don't know what else to give you, Chris, here.
When you have rational national priorities.
Isn't that, I think that's the sound drop that I have for the super chats.
That makes rational national sense.
National priorities.
There we go. That makes rational national sense. Mike Thompson, thank you for your 149.
When you have rational national priorities.
Kyle Thompson says, hey, sorry to jump out of nowhere, but I'm currently watching a Vox video about Israel's use of AI in their attack choices in Gaza. You guys got to watch it. I had no idea. I think I read an article about this. I've not seen a video about this. I think I did a video about this, actually. Man, there's been so much. There has been so much over the past, 8-9 months, whatever it is, that I'm forgetting some stories. But what was it about? I think Israel had based on the use of AI, or at least partially based on the use of AI, they had figured out where they believe there to be certain members of Hamas. But then they would strike at night while they were going to their homes with their families. And in the process, completely leveling entire apartment buildings of civilians. That's my recollection of the news story. Does Canada have fireworks on July 1st? Canada Day. Yes. Yes, they do. I never partake in fireworks, but we got them. Rational National Sense. That's the new channel name. Rational National Sense. Yes, it's a channel about perfumes. Okay, I'll be here forever if I just read chats. All right. Namaste. This was fun. Had a good time. I am going to enjoy the rest of my night. Probably watch House of Dragon later. And then before I say the next thing I'm going to say, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. And if you like me and like what I do, join my Patreon. I try to put up about one exclusive video a month on the Patreon page. It's usually about something that I'm not going to talk about, on my channel that I feel like isn't justified for whatever reason, or I don't want to cause drama, so I'll keep it to the Patreon page. So go see what's there right now. I think I got 3 videos up there over the past few months or so, and I'll also put videos up there early if something gets demonetized and I want to submit it for review, then I'll put that video before it gets reviewed. I'll put that up on Patreon as well. So patreon.com/therationalnational. Link is below the video in the description box. Check me out. Check it out. And the last thing to end on here. Watch the NHL Stanley Cup Final, Game 7, Monday night. Florida blew a 3-0 lead in the series. It is tied. This is the final game between Edmonton and Florida. Connor McDavid, the greatest player in the world on Edmonton Oilers. Florida's never won a cup, has a fantastic team. We're the favorites to win the cup since the beginning of the year. What's going to happen? 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Check your local listings. Stanley Cup Final, Game 7. Watch it Monday night. All right, there you go. Good night, good evening, and good luck.